Ladies and gentlemen, what did I just read? This chapter of Chainsaw Man was quite literally bonkers. First off, we got the Statue of Liberty Devil, or whatever the hell its name is. Turns out, yeah, there's a gigantic looking titan inside of it that has a gun for an arm. And it shot Chainsaw Man from across the world. I mean, that's one heck of a one-shot, one-kill if I ever seen one before. So let's go ahead and let's jump into the chapter and stick around until the end of the video for a couple of important announcements. So we start the chapter with this, I don't even know if insane is the right word to use here, but insane visual of the Statue of Liberty crumbling as people point up to it in bewilderment and in awe, some of them in shock. Emerging from, I guess, Liberty itself is quite literally a spawn from hell, or like a more twisted and demented version of the Doomsday Titan from Attack on Titan. It looks from the side like the skeleton of like a small dog with a bone crown protruding from its skull, with muscle fibers on the upper shoulders and arms leading down to a rifle-like hand. And God, to simply put, this devil is 100% metal. I mean, this visual is so striking in part because this thing has come from the Statue of Liberty itself. I mean, this is the symbol of the free world we're talking about, and how it in reality harbors this demonic devil that can pretty much kill anything, seemingly. It just goes to show how messed up this entire situation is and how messed up the world is. And God, it's so immense. Just look how awe-inspiring and how it must feel to see something as crazy as that emerge from the Statue of Liberty. And then we see it from the front as it begins to take aim with guts hanging out of it. It's muscles without flesh exposed. It has no lower jaw with crooked, jagged teeth exposed. It truly is a nightmarish vision of what is seen by people around the world as something, anything but whatever it is now. And Yoru points, targeting Chainsaw Man, and one fell swoop obliterates countless lives and buildings and the environment, killing thousands, as Asa comes to and realizes her grim mistake as she sees the hole that she created in the building with rubble and fire behind it in a truly horrific visual past the point of apocalyptic. And Asa had forgotten, but now she knows Yoru is a devil. Yoru has no reasoning. She has no idea how to grasp the concept of human nature because her nature is that of pure destruction and chaos, of war, and this is exactly what she is about, destroying everything in her wake to be the only one left standing. And we see how Yoru reacts to the fruits of her labor. She laughs. Oddly enough, this reminds me of all of the times power would mess with Denji and the others. Whether it was proclaiming a 100% tax, slapping Denji over the head, or being incredibly racist and smelly. Yoru is just as bad and maybe even worse because power wasn't that smart. Thing is, Yoru knows exactly what she's doing and how to do it. Minor JJK spoilers, mind you, but it reminds me of Yuji trusting Sukuna in the Colon game too. And I think Fujimoto was trying with these last couple of chapters to prime us and remind us the true nature of devils. Just because, say Nayuta is different with her childlike nature and good parenting from Denji, making her warm and more human, that doesn't mean that all devils are good now. And just because Yoru has been learning more about Asa and understanding her more and even having her traits rub off on her and vice versa, and it doesn't mean jack when the true nature from a fundamental level of this devil is to conquer everything in existence. As we see the untold destruction left in its wake is a visual we haven't seen in a very long time. The remainder of Chainsaw Man, a torso and head. Reminds me of the Bomb Girl arc where Rize did a similar thing to Denji and blew up everything but his upper torso. But now, left motionless, the aging devil appears in front of Chainsaw Man and begins to feed him their blood as they proclaim to save Chainsaw Man and to eat all of them, saving the head for last, because as their contract states, children will die with each bite taken from them, as we see in a mirror an image of a soldier ordering children around, one of them even carrying carrying a baby. And I feel like Fujimoto with this arc has delved into the global and historical impact and significance of devils themselves in a very subtle sense. Like Yoru, War Devil, and all that jazz, she's been significant in pretty much every conflict ever. The Statue of Liberty, well, that had a devil inside of it all this time, and now aging? Apparently everybody he takes, children will die doing so. It really does feel as if Fujimoto is saying indirectly that devils are at the source of most of humanity's struggles, chaos, and conflict. I think in part 2, a lot of that feeling of devils being a threat was, for the most part, reduced because we had Asa and Yoru, the latter of which, like most devils, has acted very weird and similar to Asa, who is this big awkward goof that, yeah, you know, she is a girl failure, but that makes her endearing and someone worth emotionally investing in as a reader, because Asa is legit cool, so a lot of her charm rubbed off on Yoru. Same could be said for Nayuta. A lot of Denji's quirks have rubbed off on her, and that's very significant when you consider the fact she used to be Makima, who was, tonally speaking, an extremely dark character. Maybe one of, if not, the darkest of all Chainsaw Man characters. So I think this arc was very overdue from this perspective, at the very least. So every week when a new chapter comes out, I like to peruse Reddit for talking points and just things I missed while reading the chapters. And by the way, please, Chainsaw Man community, start posting on Bluesky. It's so much better than Twitter in every way, but we need you. And this comment here I found on Reddit, though, is pretty cool and brings up an excellent point, so I thought I would share it here. So thoughts. The only time we see Pochita kill innocent people is at the hamburger joint. Even there, the only people he kills are people that panic or show some sort of aggression. Pochita explains that he can't hug people without hurting or killing them later on. He's definitely guided by Denji's morals. So, people that annoy Denji, like Kobeni's co-workers, who were cruel to her, are going to get cut up. I think even when he grabbed the sign, referring to the blood drive sign that is, it was Pochita's primitive way of saying he needs help to recover, but didn't want to hurt anyone. He only killed the spearmen that attacked him. I don't think he will eat the aging devil, but that could be very bad for him. I think it's about time we saw the other players in this tale. And financial ad here with a very good observation is basically saying that it's unlikely Chainsaw Man or Denji would accept the contract of aging. That instead, it's time for other characters to start appearing to basically save him. Because that's what the blood drive was about. It was a tacit admission that he can't defeat Yoru, but pulling back the perspective even further, he can't do it alone anymore. You know, it's often said that a man can fix every problem in his life, besides the problems that require other people to help fix. Denji, as we know, hasn't ever asked for help. Not really. He's never confided in anyone, and if he has, they've either ignored him or, in the case of Asa, called him a loser and a liar. So maybe he's hit the end of the road. Maybe this is the point where doing it all alone isn't a viable option anymore because he's fixed all the problems he could fix on his own. I think Pochita and Denji have realized this and know that they can't do it anymore. So, who will save him? Who has Denji's back? Well, let's run through some of them, and if I miss any, please let me know. First off, we have Kishibe, who is the one that entrusted Nayuta to Denji, and this is also doubly significant because Kishibe loves his drink and he loves killing devils. Plus, he's one of the few public safety agents on good terms with Denji, and he trusts him a lot. After all, he gave him Nayuta, who is the reincarnate of Makima, the literal control devil. Speaking of, I'm gonna add Nayuta in here too. I still don't believe for a second she is dead, and I think it would be interesting to have her save Denji and Chainsaw Man in a surprise return. Remember, devils can heal from drinking blood and regenerate their entire being if done right. So why not have Nayuta be fed blood and come back and regain, let's say, control of the situation? This leads into another possibility, famine. While I think she is more or less one of the main antagonists ultimately, at the very least thematically, she could be the one to help revive Nayuta's body after all. And she's the one with the grand plot, so I think the big question is this current scenario a threat to Fami's plans? If so, she may intervene. If not, she stays frosty and watches from the sidelines, eating her spaghetti as she mutters, "elbow," with a full mouth. Now, these next ones are less likely, but I think they are worth mentioning because I love them and I want them to return like Kishibe. I think the least likely person to save him, and I'll mention these first, is Kobeni. I mean, why would she show up? What motivation does she have to be here? Unless she's been prescribed 100 milligrams of hydroxyzine, she isn't getting anywhere near any of this. If anything, she's probably shitting herself as of this moment, but heck, maybe she did get on the meds and is ready to enter the fray and go Blackhawk on some thick devil ass. Then we have Powie McPowerface, aka Eric Cartman. Last week I said I thought she would seriously be returning, but after this week's chapter and some of the comments left on last week's video, I think it's less likely now. The whole blood drive thing was likely more symbolic of Pochita's need for help and Denji's helplessness at this point, as the comment above said. Finally, we have the best boy beam! No, okay, I'm kidding. But let's mention Rize here. Bomb Girl herself technically is a weapon of war, which is, as of yet, unconfirmed in the world of Chainsaw Man, so who knows. But if she is, it would be quite awesome to have Rize be awakened or brought back or something to heed the call of duty and defend her boyfriend that never was. It would be extremely poetic and a huge moment, and one of the most beloved, human, and relatable characters in Chainsaw Man returning to save a devil and save Denji. I mean, the person she never gave up on and the person who never gave up on her, that's pretty cool. I think I'm more 70-30 in favor of her not showing up, but it would be really cool if it were to happen. So, who is gonna save Denji? If this Reddit theory is to be true, I don't freaking know, man. My guy, my dude, buddy, pal, friend, comrade, buddy pal guy. But what I do know is that for the sake of Asa, she needs to 86 Yoru like a Walmart or dollar store in rural America, and Denji needs more help than the Chainsaw Man community after Yoru's ass reveal. Announcement time! Alright, y'all, we've got to talk shop about some stuff and give some updates on the channel. The first is, thank you all for getting Bento to over 6,200 subscribers. This is purely a hobby channel. Without you, I probably would have just given up on being a YouTuber full-time at this point with all that I've gone through the last couple of years on the platform, but you know, some days are harder than others, right? But Bento has, and by extension, the Chainsaw Man community has the absolute best people on planet Earth in it, and that is something I absolutely say from now anecdotal experience. Thank you all, and so I am now beginning to work on the International Assassins video, which will all be in one gigantic video. I think that'll probably come out at the end of October or very early November. This was decided by the Bento community as well, because I asked if you wanted it in weekly or just one big video, so I appreciate your feedback. Another thing real quick is the channel is just, it's growing massively, and it's insane. It's now getting enough viewership to where I am probably going to start being asked for sponsorship opportunities very soon. Full disclosure, I do not plan to advertise on this channel for the remainder of 2024. However, with 2025, that may be different. Also, full disclosure as well, I earn about $95 to $200 a month through these videos, and I'm very okay sharing that with you because this is a hobby channel. This is not something I do financially. So I want to ask two questions based off this. If I do take sponsorships on Bento in 2025, what do you want to see sponsored and what do you not want to see? For example, I'm obviously not going to sponsor AI garbage or NFT scams, but I know BetterHelp as well. That's controversial. I know things like Raid Shadow Legends are played out. So if you're in support, let me know what you would and wouldn't like to see. If you don't support it, let me know why as well, and I will respect the wishes of the community to not take any sponsors for this channel. Like I said, I view this channel as a hobby, and it will remain that way until the very end of time itself, no matter what. Unless something changes, of course, which I would let you know ahead of time. My goal with Bento isn't to get tons of views, money, or subscribers. More or less, it's just to share my initial thoughts on Chainsaw Man with like-minded people, because I value your community and your viewership over dollar amounts and freaking stupid analytics on YouTube. So if you want, you can join my Discord where I post updates, announcements, and host hangouts, and very soon game nights for my community. It's also a great place to follow my other channels as well, where I cover a variety of series like Dawn to Dawn, Kagurabachi, One Piece, seasonal anime, and more. So thank you everyone for watching until the end of the video, and I hope your week only gets better and it stays that way each week forever. I am grateful for your support and the time you give me. Thank you for watching, and hey, guess what? Bi-Weekly Devil is officially dead for realsy this time, yo! I'll see you on October 1st for the beginning of Spoopy Month. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.